Okay, I see that my watch says 6 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call the City of Platteville Common Council meeting together. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. We are meeting in the council chambers. First order of business is call to order and roll call. Colette.
Kathy Kopp,
Here.
Todd Casper,
Here.
Barbara Doss is excused, Bob Gates,
Here.
Ken Killian is absent, Tom Nall,
Here.
Lynn Parrott,
Here. Okay, it is noted that we do have a quorum. Next up, consideration of consent agenda. The following items may be approved on a single motion and vote due to their routine nature or previous discussion. Please indicate if you would prefer separate discussion or action. First one, council meeting or council minutes from July 9th, 2024, the regular meeting. Payment of bills, appointments to boards and commissions, and Barb didn't leave any to be announced. Licenses, 2-year operator licenses to sell, serve alcohol, temporary class B to serve fermented malt beverages to Friends of the Mining and Rollo Jameson Museums at 405 East Main Street from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for Mine Day on Saturday, August 10th, 2024. Street closing permit, Lutheran Street from Furnace Street corner to 250 Lutheran Street on Friday, August 23rd, 2024, from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. for a block party by the Platteville Free Methodist Church. Does anybody have any questions?
I have just one.
Yes.
At the meeting 2 weeks ago, did Barb mention that Molly Zulke is,
Did she announce that during the meeting? Okay, but that,
I didn't know because you said there have been no appointments to any boards.
she usually does that, like tonight, if she had new ones to appoint, that's what she would do tonight.
Okay,
So if
But-
she announced that 2 weeks ago,
I don't know. I was on vacation.
I think she did.
Okay,
So Kathy, I just am looking at the minutes from the last one and I don't believe there was,
Okay.
but I'll double
Can I
check
see your
that and
letter? I
let you
just want
know.
to make sure that I read it correctly. All right. Stand corrected. At our council meeting, oh, this was May 28th.
just got that letter. I don't know if she had mentioned it
Oh.
or not.
Okay, but she
Yes.
Barb has, the council president has appointed Molly Zulke to the Parks, Forestry and Recreation Committee. And with the term that expires June 1st, 2027. The letter's dated the end of May. So I thought I heard her say that,
Okay,
but it's been a while. So thanks for bringing it
well,
up.
she's still on it.
I have a motion.
Okay,
I move to approve all items listed under the consent agenda.
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any other discussion?
At the last, excuse me, at the last meeting, I said I wanted to have on the agenda about the issue of the library. Was that put on the agenda?
That would be a matter for the council president.
Pardon?
That would be a matter for the council president, and she's not here this evening, so we'll have to defer to the next meeting that she attends. It is not on the agenda for this evening.
Asked for it to be on the agenda.
You would need to take that up with the council president.
Other thing that I asked to be on the agenda, I want to be on the agenda is as far as looking at all airport. And my request was that you would bring information what's when we get to that issue.
We did ask for information about fuel that's used by different types of aircraft, and we did provide that to you.
Copy you gave me from a place in North Carolina. I was also asking for what the city airport was doing. So I was asking for that as well.
You're asking for what type of fuel that the city,
Aircraft are using at the airport here
Yes.
in Platteville.
yes, so there's two types of fuel, low lead fuel and jet fuel.
Did you, well, can we talk about that when we get to that issue?
We don't have that on the agenda for tonight as an agenda item.
Madam President,
Yes,
I call for a vote.
Ken, do you have a copy of the agenda? Do you have a copy of tonight's agenda? Okay. Because it is not on tonight's agenda.
Somehow I got left off because I asked.
that's not my recollection, but we can take it up with the council president when she returns. I don't have the authority to set the agenda, but we can certainly refer that back to the council president. There's been a call for a vote.
Yes. Okay, so motion made in second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign?
Hey,
No? Okay. Motion carried. Citizens' comments, observations, and petitions, if any. I don't see anybody that had asked to make a comment. Council members, anybody have anything specifically you want to bring up? One thing I would like to note, I gave everyone a copy. It's a big week in Platteville. This is the annual Hometown Festival Week, and this is a good indication to show anybody that thinks nothing ever happens here. So there's events currently going on is the Southwest Health Berry Festival tonight. There's the 20th anniversary of Katie's Garden tomorrow night from 4 to 8. And then the annual party in the park, Salute to Volunteers, followed by Music in the Park, is on Thursday. Then on Friday, there is a fish boil at the Trinity Episcopal Church. Saturday, there is the weekly farmers market and Town Festival Art and Craft Fair in City Park. And then on Sunday, in the afternoon at City Park, there's a Southwest Christian Music Festival. So that's just for your information. Okay, moving along to reports, Museum Commission Committee minutes. Tom, anything to add?
I'll refer that to Cody.
Yep, Tom just asked me if I would come tonight just to kind of go over the progress report. Pretty normal report for June. The attendance was up. It continues to grow over time, which is pretty normal for this time in the year. Now in July, we're really very busy every week. We had a great school season that ended in June. We had over 1,100 students this year. We've also been making progress on rail tie maintenance plan, which looks at immediate need to replace, moderate need to replace, and future maintenance. And then really the last thing that I can report on, it's a little out of June, but Heritage Day was a great success for us this year. We had over 600 people show up, and we heard a lot of great things. So I'm thankful that we had that, and I'm thankful that that was, one of my it was my first big event at the museum here as the director, and it went without a hitch. So thankful for that. And that's what's going on at the museum.
Thank you. Okay, we have two action items tonight. The first is ordinance 24-08, dissolving the Friedenreich Animal Care Advisory Committee. We did have information presented at our last meeting. Nicola,
Yes, thank you. So as we talked about at the last meeting, Georgine Freudenreich provided a generous gift to the city. And she left that money to the city to establish and maintain an animal shelter. Although the funds themselves were not enough to establish and maintain a shelter, the city at that time entered into an agreement with the estate to invest the funds and to use the earnings on those funds for animal care expenses and programs in the city. And then as a part of that, a committee was formed to advise the city on administration of the funds. And that was formalized in the city municipal code in 1999. And so since then, the fund earnings have been used to provide support for the stray animal program, adoptions, animal care, educational materials in the library, and in the local newspaper as well. But last year, the advisory committee was approached by the Grant County Humane Society seeking funding support from the Freudenreich Fund for the establishment of a humane facility in the city of Platteville. And so on April 11th, 2023, after some discussion and information were provided, the council voted to close the fund and disperse the principal and earnings to the Grant County Humane Society to support the purchase of that building in the city. So the trust fund itself is now closed, and so the advisory committee is no longer needed and should be dissolved. So this is a housekeeping item to clean up the municipal code. And so the ordinance to dissolve the committee and repeal that section of the municipal code is provided in the packet.
any questions?
Nope.
None.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make,
To adopt ordinance 24-08, repealing section 3.24 Freudenreich Animal Care Fund of the Municipal Code.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ken, second by Bob. Colette will vote.
Okay, Cop,
Yes.
Here
Casper,
at the top.
Yes.
But there's no vote required. What kind of,
That it is a typo. I apologize.
that's a typo?
Yes, it's a majority vote for this matter.
Vote required, none. So that's a typo.
Yes, sir.
Gates,
Be closer reading of what put out here.
Noted.
Yes.
Killian,
Yes,
no,
Yes.
Parrot. Yes. Motion carries.
Okay, our second item tonight, was also presented at our last meeting. It's the 2025 proposed budget schedule.
Yes, so this is, we present this to the council each year, so the council and the general public have a chance to see the progression of the budget process, as well as to ensure that the meeting dates are on your calendars. So we just discussed this at the last meeting. It has been posted to the website and posted at City Hall and the library. Is there any questions on the budget schedule?
Questions? Okay, entertain a motion on adopting the 2025 proposed budget schedule.
I move to adopt the, excuse me, I move to approve the proposed budget schedule for the city of Platteville 2025 budget.
Second.
second,
Okay, we have a motion by Bob, a second by Tom. Colette will vote.
Cop,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Killian,
yes,
no,
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, so we have several items on for information and discussion tonight. First one is lead service line financial assistance agreement. Is that you, Howard?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. We've been awarded a combination loan and what they call principal forgiven loan, which for most people would be called a grant for lead service line replacement. The full amount for all of this is $170,140, with 75% of it, $127,605 as the grant amount and $42,535 as the low interest loan that will need to be repaid. We don't have the actual agreement yet. I've enclosed one from before with what I expect the changes to be. We should have the final one before next meeting. This will reimburse up to 110 property owners for residential and commercial lead service lines to be replaced. Properties will receive the same 75-25 split on their grants and loans. We've created a utility to keep the funding separate from all of our other funds. So we'll be asking that you approve the final financial assistance agreement and authorize the Common Council President and the city clerk to sign it.
Howard, I have a question. You said it will take care up to 100 properties?
110.
110. How many do we have? Are there more after that?
No,
No, that's it.
that's all.
That's all. Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Does anybody have any questions?
There were more than more people. Mhm.
Any other questions?
This latter part was added on, correct?
The what?
This latter part was added on in your addition here, in your lead
The,
service line. So this was new with some changes.
oh, the draft attachment? Yes,
So that's-
we don't have the actual document yet. So what I did was I took one that we had from before and I did crossouts and all to hopefully show what it will look like.
I read it and to me, there were a lot of things different here, so. Thank you.
Okay, then we go to a resolution for state and federal aid for improvements at the Platteville Municipal Airport. Nicola?
Thank you. Yes, so in order for the airport to qualify for federal and or state aid, the Wisconsin statutes require that the airport hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution petitioning the Wisconsin Secretary of Transportation for airport improvements. And it's to be noted that state and federal grants can cover up to 95% of eligible project costs. So it's very desirable for the city and the airport to qualify for those funds. The petition itself must include any and all improvements that might be undertaken or pursued in the foreseeable future, even if the chance of those taking place might be somewhat remote. The character, extent, and kind of improvements that are desirable for the airport and included in the petition are runway repair that includes crack seal pavement, painting, and new beads, rehabilitate snow removal equipment building, construct, rehabilitate T-hangers, purchase snow removal and mowing equipment, replace rotating beacon, land acquisition for hangar development access areas, decommission, remove remote communications outlet or RCO, clear and maintain runway approaches as stated in the administrative code, construct hangar access taxi lane, extend runway to 5,000 feet, including lighting, land acquisition for runway extension, conduct wildlife study, any related necessary work. By adopting the petition resolution, the city is not making a commitment to undertake any or all of the projects. However, approval of the petition by the Plan Commission and the council is required in order for any application to be made for state and/or federal funding assistance. I would also like to introduce our airport manager, Ryzen Pereira, who is here tonight with us and represents Apex, who we contract with for airport management services. And Ryzen is also here because he would have all the information that I don't have about the actual projects if you have any questions.
Welcome.
And no questions. I would like to note that the airport hosted a very successful pancake breakfast this past weekend. And it was the girls Boy Scout troop that put it on, correct?
And-
We ask questions? I looked through, I read through this whole thing. And so who wrote this? Well,
We'll need Ryzen to go up to the podium, please, Ryzen.
when I go through this, it brings up questions, so.
Yeah, the
thing
document,
is,
there was a
if you want
petition
to
that
go back,
was,
Then some of the answers change. So, number one, I don't have a question. I'm on the first page. You don't want to vote on this. It said, two, construct, rehabilitate snow removal equipment building. So is the building in place right now?
Yes.
It is. So is it a matter you're gonna construct a new one or rehabilitate it?
It depending on what contractors believe would be the best is what we would do, the most cost effective one. We have a building, but it is a dirt floor. And then
It's
what?
what?
A dirt floor.
Dirt floor, so you wanna make it concrete?
That would be awesome. And what we use, so we have two separate, we have one hangar that is full of our snow equipment. That is full of our snow equipment. And we have another hangar that is all our mowing equipment and some minor maintenance stuff. So if we can have a new building that we could have all in one, then we could free up a new hangar, which could bring in more business and attract new planes.
Three, construct, rehabilitate T hangars. What is a T hangar?
A T hangar is a pretty standard hangar for these smaller planes. So one T hangar means one plane. And then when you construct new T hangars, it's usually 6 to 10. 6 to 10 could bring in 6 to 10 more planes.
And on number four, this first page reads, purchase snow removal equipment, snow removal and mowing equipment. Then I read later on, in another page, it said, purchase new snow removal equipment. So what's it gonna be?
It could be,
It sounds like you have no snow removal equipment whatsoever at the present time. So you wanna purchase new?
yeah, so there's a program that the state of Wisconsin does for snow equipment trucks. And we do have equipment for snow removal, but it would be awesome to get into that program. So that's why we put it down. And they would be able to provide a new truck for us. And that would be great for plowing.
Extend runway to 5,000 feet. Do you at the present time, does the airport at the present time have the 5,000 feet? Will the 5,000 feet have to be taken from nearby neighbors?
So the airport actually owns the land around the airport, but we just lease it out. So that would technically be our land, but we have a 4,000 foot runway, 3,999 to be specific. And so the extension of the 5,000 would allow for more jet traffic We don't know if we'd ever be approved by the FAA under AIP funding, which is Airport Improvement Program, which is the program that all airports, part of NIPIAS are part of, and NIPIAS is just important airports in the United States. So we have 4,000 feet, but the dream, because that's kind of what the whole document is. It's like a dream of what we want for the airport would be 5,000.
Because in number 11, it says land acquisition for runway extension. So you don't have 5,000 yet, you need more.
Yeah, so we have 4,000 feet for one of our runways, and there are other runways about 3,600 feet, 3,599 to be specific. And the land acquisition would be for a different runway, the smaller runway of 3,600 feet, because I don't remember the name of the road. I'm still trying to learn roads here in Platteville. But near Airport Road, we would need to acquire more land if we wanted to extend that runway to 5,000 feet. But if we wanted to extend 1.5 and 3.3, which is our long one, then we would not need to acquire land.
Number 12, you have conduct wildlife study. Well, to me, wildlife study, are you concerned about birds getting into the engine? Are you concerned about that? Are you concerned about wildlife around the airport? So this thing, unless you go way to the back, you get some information about it. You don't know what the wildlife study is. I mean, some planes have been brought down by wildlife going into the engines.
Yes.
Is going to be a problem with the jets? Are there any jets landing at the present time?
Yes, there are jets landing at the present time.
Pardon?
Yes, there are jets landing at the present
They
time.
could get wildlife in the engine.
Not. That's not what the wildlife study is for. The wildlife study is for if we were to extend the runway to 5,000 feet, we would need a wildlife study, a pretty standard thing that all major airports do anytime they do any adding of the runways. And that's just to see what wildlife is there, to see if there would be a problem at that time. But at the present time, there are no problems with wildlife at the airport. There are birds, but I have not heard of a bird strike at the airport since I've been here since February. So that's pretty awesome. And I have not heard of any planes going down around the Platteville area because of wildlife.
But it is a potential.
Yes, but so are so many other things such as weather.
Because we have geese flying through this area here. And I grew up in a country that had thousands of geese. And that's all, you look at some of the history of planes, jet planes, running into birds and going down because of it. I was just wondering what you're gonna do.
I understand your question and your concern for that, but as of right now, there are no concerns for the wildlife problem at the airport.
So if there was, we could get the local hunting club or something to come out on Saturdays and probably rid the area. Just an idea.
We used to do that too back home.
So this item will come back for the next meeting. So if anybody has any questions that come up between now and then.
This is coming back for a vote? Is that right?
That is correct.
And what, maybe I'll clarify for myself, this is a resolution by us adopting it. Down the road, if the airport commission wants to do a project, funding is much more available if the big picture is listed in this resolution and covered now. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's,
I looked at the front page here, it says vote required, none.
No vote is required tonight, but it will require, no vote is required tonight. It's an information and discussion item. However, at the next meeting, it will be a public hearing and a vote will be required.
Now, again, that's confusing because you should have said majority vote, for example.
Well, for the
Saying
next
nothing.
meeting.
Confusing.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rice.
Nicolette.
Thank you, Ryzen.
Okay, the last item for information and discussion is asbestos abatement contract for OE Gray. Who gets to tackle that one? Howard?
I'll start off. Right now, we have, we had Environmental Management Consulting, EMC, who opened up 6 bids for the abatement in the OE Gray building. The bid tally is attached, and the low bidder is MRD Group with a bid of 179,180. Before Mr. Killian comments about this, this is another one where it says vote required tonight is none. And at the next meeting, it will be a majority vote. Staff would recommend awarding to MRD unless Ryan, the chief, has something else that he wishes to explain.
No, I mean, I think the big things that I can just address for you is you're gonna look at that and you're gonna say that the estimated budget was 100,000, came in at 179, 180, so 80,000, approximately 80,000 more than we thought. So where will that money come from? Speaking with Clint, we have basically 3 ideas of where that funds are gonna come for. One is when the project actually goes to bid, that if it comes in under bid, then the monies of savings from the actual bid package for the project could cover those overage costs. 2 would be there is currently like 650,000 in contingency for the project in there. So if those contingencies aren't needed for anything else through the project, the overage would come from there. And finally, worst case scenario is at the final payment for the project between the city share and the municipalities is they would just have to add that 80,000 to split amongst them to cover the overage, but we're hoping that there'll be the overall project and funds there to cover those. We're pretty early on in all that yet, so we're hopeful there that it'll just get dissolved in the cost of the project. So, but we really don't have a choice. It has to get done and completed, so that's where they again with EMC to take the low bid and get it accomplished so we can move on.
Any questions of Howard or Ryan? I'm glad, I was gonna ask about the funding, so I'm glad you cut me off with that, so I'm assuming you anticipated something. Okay, that is all we have for information and discussion. Need to announce that we will not need a closed session. So we're,
I second it.
okay, motion by Bob, second by Lynn. To adjourn, we'll vote.
Pat,
Pardon?
Reason for no closed session.
We will be having a closed session on the agenda for the next several meetings as we go through the process of acquiring property for the fire facility. And so it'll appear on the agenda so that if we do need it, then it will be ready.
Second, I guess, if nobody's done that. Oh, you did. Oh, excellent. Yes.
But,
Cop,
yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
motion carries.
How you can get us.